So in this video, we are going to discuss about how we can accept a string as an input from the user. So let's quickly get started. So in order to achieve this, what we'll do is we'll create two variables, I'll say, to hold the strings. So there are two ways we know to hold the string. So first way is using the character array. So let's quickly define one character array. Let's name it as str1. Now this time what we are going to do is we are not going to initialize this array because we need to accept the string from the user, okay, and then store it into this character array. So if we are not initializing an array, we need to give some size to this array. So let's give some maximum size. Let's give some size like around 20 or something. So what is going to happen, an array of type character of size 20 is going to be created in the memory. See, whenever we are accepting input from the user, we need to decide the size of the array, okay, and you need to make sure that this size is going to be large enough to hold the input which user is going to enter, okay. So you need to decide that accordingly. Then the next way of defining the string or holding the string is with the help of string class. So I'll write string, this is like string class, and then let's name it as str2. Okay, in order to use this string class, you will need to include the header file called as string header file. So let's include the string header file. Okay, so in this way we have created two variables, str1 and str2. See, it's not actually a good practice to call them as a variable. See, str1 is an array, okay, and str2 is kind of a variable, but we have one special term for this in C++, which is called as an object, okay. So str2 is actually called as an object. We are going to learn about what is an object in object oriented model. Right now let's understand, let's keep this thing in your mind that str2 in standard ways it is called as an object, but you can call it as a variable as well. That is absolutely fine. All right, so these are like two containers where we need to accept our string, okay. Now let's see whether we can use cin to get the input from the user into these containers. So let's quickly see. So what I'll do is I'll write cin str1, okay, and then after this what I'll do is I'll immediately print str1 on the screen. So we'll see whether whatever user is entering into the string is getting stored or not, okay. Same with str2. So let's do cin str2 and then cout str2. We can also add endl at the end, so let's do that. All right. Okay, so in this way you can accept the string and then you can print it on the screen. Let's see whether this works or not. So let's compile this file. So name of the file is 06stringinput.cpp. So it has got compiled successfully, and now let's quickly execute this. So you can see the prompt is waiting for us to enter something. So let's enter hello. So you can see hello is getting printed on the screen. That means the input is getting stored properly into the character array. All right, and now let's enter world. You can see even the world was getting stored properly into the str2 container, and then it was getting printed, okay. It is getting printed on the screen. So yeah, you can use cin for accepting the inputs, okay. It is a good way. I mean, we use it for accepting the input for normal variable. So you can use same way, which is cin, to accept the input into your strings, okay. But now this cin presents one problem. I'm going to show you what is the problem that this cin has. So I'll execute this program once again. Now this time what I'll do is, let's say I want to enter one sentence as a string, okay. Let's say I want to enter hello world as my first string, which I want to store inside str1, okay. So just focus what is happening. I'm typing hello space world and then I'll hit enter. You can see what is happening. It is not asking us another input. It is not waiting for input of str2, okay. And if you see the output, you can see it is first printing hello and then it is printing world, okay. So what is happening over here, this cin treats space as a terminating character, okay. It treats space as a separator character, okay. So what the cin feels, it feels that this hello is first input for this str1 and world is another input for this str2, okay. So space is being treated as a separator, okay. It is being treated as a separator, and that's the reason you cannot enter multiple words with the help of cin. So if you want to accept a string from the user, and if you feel that user can enter multiple words, then cin is not going to work for you, okay, because the space acts like a separator when with cin, okay. So that's why we have two more functions which you can actually use in order to accept the input into your string. So let's discuss about these functions. See, function is an inbuilt functionality which is provided by C++. We are going to have a next module on functions. So in this next module, you're going to actually understand what is actually a function in C++. Right now, let's not worry about it. See, let's first understand how we can get input inside this str1, okay, where we can have multiple words inside our strings. So let's quickly see, you have to write cin dot, you need to write get line. See, just remember this syntax, you need to write cin dot get line. Now this get line needs two inputs, okay, you need to pass two things to this get line. So you need to pass the name of your character array. So I'll write str1, this is the name of the character array, and the second argument is going to be the maximum characters or the maximum elements that you want to accept inside your character array. So in this case, my character array is having size as 20, so the maximum number of elements that I can accept inside my character array is going to be 20, okay. So I'll write 20. See, you can also write a number which is less than 20, that is also fine, okay. So if you write something like 10, then what is going to happen is only 10 elements will be taken. So if user enters 30 elements, okay, but what cin is going to do, or what this get line is going to do, get line is going to get only first 10 elements, and only those first 10 elements will be stored inside your string, okay. So in this way it is going to work, but ideally you can keep this number same as this number, okay. Now let's see whether this works or not. So what we'll do is we'll comment out these things, and let's write cout statement here. Okay, so let's clear the terminal, let's compile and execute this code, and let's enter, let's say hello world. You can see now hello world is getting printed, okay. So this getLine function is going to help you to accept multiple words, and it is not going to treat space as a separator. It is going to accept the entire string that you are typing over here, okay. So yeah, in order to accept input, or in order to accept sentence as an input inside your character array, you can make use of this cin.getLine, okay. Now let's understand how we can accept a sentence inside string class variable. Let's discuss that. So in order to accept a sentence like input inside a string class variable, we have another function called as getLine only, but this time we are not writing something like cin.getLine, we are just writing getLine, okay. Now this getLine is an inbuilt function which is provided inside this string header file, okay. So this getLine function comes from string header file. Now this getLine is going to need two inputs, okay. The first input is going to be the stream from which you want to accept the input, okay. So usually we take input from cin stream, so you need to write cin as the first input, and then the second input is going to be the name of the variable, okay. So in this case it is str2. So it is very straightforward. You just need to write cin followed by str2. Cin is the input stream from where we are accepting the input, or from where we receive the input, and str2 is name of the variable of type string, okay, in which your input will be stored. So in this way the getLine function is going to work, and then after this what we'll do is we'll just print str2 content on the screen, and for now we can comment these lines. Just focus on str2, whether the input is getting stored properly in str2 or not. So let's enter hello world, and you can see hello world is getting stored in str2. So whenever I'm printing str2 on the screen, hello world is getting printed. So in this way you can use getLine to accept multiple words into a string class variable, and you can use cin.getLine to accept multiple words into a character array. Just focus on the syntax difference. See, in case of getLine, not just a getLine, not cin.getLine, you need to pass two inputs, but the first input is cin and the second input is going to be your variable name. In case of cin.getLine, you again need to pass two inputs. But in this case, the first input is going to be name of your character array, and the second input is going to be the maximum number of elements you want to accept. So I hope you are clear with these functionalities and how getLine functions can be used to accept multiple words from the user. So see you in the next video.